Do you hate crime and criminals like me? How would a perfect world without criminals be? Awesome. But wait, is there a fate worse than death? Still, some prisons make the death penalty look merciful. Prisons so horrific, they make Dante's Inferno look like a holiday brochure. We're talking about places where despair is the daily bread and violence is as common as breathing. Brace yourselves, folks, because things are about to get very, very ugly. Otherwise, if you want to see more eye-opening content, make sure to subscribe to this channel. Our first stop is Black Dolphin prison in Siberia, where Russia sends its most hardened criminals. Prisoners spend 23 hours a day in tiny cells, their only view a sliver of the sky. Human contact is forbidden, with solitary exercise in a slightly larger cage. Imagine your entire existence reduced to a concrete box and a daily dose of despair.
It's like living in a nightmare that you can't wake up from. The cold seeps into your bones, and the silence, it's deafening.
From Siberia, we travel to the sweltering heat of El Salvador to Barrios prison. Here, the raw power of gangs fuels the horror, with guards often complicit in the chaos. Gangs like MS-13 and Barrio 18 control everything, deciding who eats, sleeps, and dies. Inmates are shackled together, sharing cramped, filthy cells with dozens of others.
In Barrios, you learn quickly that there's no escape, no hope. The gangs run everything. You do what they say, or you don't make it out alive.
Back to Russia, we get into Petak Island, a desolate rock in White Lake. Arguably, Petak Island prison is designed to crush the human spirit, with icy winds and bone-chilling dampness. Here, they keep prisoners in perpetual isolation, their only interaction with the outside world, the guards who bring them meager rations. What a treat this is. Yet, if you think Petak was worse, wait until you hear this. We stop at Thailand's Kwang, also known as the Bangkok Hilton. Hilton, indeed. Notably, overcrowding is a way of life, with thousands of inmates crammed into a space designed for a fraction of that number. The heat is stifling, the humidity relentless, and the only escape is the oblivion offered by sleep. Tourists, lured by adventure, find themselves ensnared in Thailand's strict drug laws, facing a life sentence in a concrete coffin. Vroom! Our next destination is North Korea's Camp 22, a place shrouded in mystery and fear. Camp 22 is a political prison camp where dissent is met with unimaginable cruelty. Starvation is rampant, with prisoners scavenging for insects and rats to survive. Forced labor and routine torture crush the spirit, eradicating any last vestige of hope. These prisons represent some of the darkest places on Earth, stark reminders of what happens when we abandon our humanity. These stories of suffering and abuse should force us to confront the uncomfortable truth about the global prison system. We have a moral obligation to speak out against injustice and advocate for humane treatment of all prisoners. Because the fight for a more just and compassionate world begins with acknowledging the darkest corners of our own creation and vowing to do better. Share this video with your friends and help spread awareness. It may reach the powers that be, the ones who decide the conditions in our prisons. Together, we can make a difference. Dear viewer, raise your hand if you have ever visited or seen Hell on Earth. Yes, the La Sabaneta prison in Venezuela is often referred to as Hell on Earth. What with the overcrowding, violence, and extreme neglect that define the daily lives of La Sabaneta prison inmates. Built for 700, it now confines over 3,700 souls. Inmates fend for themselves with minimal oversight. Gangs rule and weapons are common. Food and medical care are scarce. In retrospect, I remember one of the most deadly moments in the prison with nostalgia. That's the 1994 massacre that remains a haunting memory, where a riot led to over 100 deaths. This underscores the need for reform and protection of human rights. La Sabaneta is a stark reminder of neglecting the prison system. So, we must shine a light on these dark places and advocate for change. Gitarama prison in Rwanda is one of the most overcrowded prisons in the world. Built for 400 inmates, it now houses over 7,000 in inhumane conditions. Inmates sleep standing up, crammed in cells with barely room to move. Did I see you shudder and twitch your nose? Yes, you so imaginative and emotional. Disease spreads rapidly here. Tuberculosis and dysentery are rampant, claiming countless lives. Food is scarce and nutritionally inadequate. Many rely on families for additional sustenance, but support is often unavailable. Lack of medical care makes for more suffering. Gitarama prison highlights the need for comprehensive prison reform. We must address overcrowding and ensure dignity for all inmates now, not tomorrow, not yesterday. The conditions in Gitarama are a call to action for the global community. We must advocate for humane treatment and basic human rights for all prisoners. No one should be condemned to such a nightmare. Imagine we can't win this war if you don't share this to the world. Kindly do so. And if you got a little sympathy for our prisoners, remember you can land there too. Comment and subscribe to enable this channel grow and reach more people as it digs deeper for the plight of the downtrodden. A luta continua, guys.